Dwyane Wade is a 3-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, Olympic gold medalist, and widely ranked as a top 30 player of all time, and often cited as the third greatest shooting guard ever, right behind MJ and Kobe. That's an elite resume. But what if I were to tell you that the hype is a bit overcooked? Wade was great and had some unforgettable moments, no doubt, but when you look closer, his career isn't as bulletproof as it seems. In this video, we'll break down the biggest reasons why the Miami legend might be overrated and why his career might not quite be as legendary as many make it out to be. Let's first talk about his longevity. Wade played in at least 65 games in only 9 NBA seasons, and 2 of those were during the sunset of his career in Chicago, Cleveland, and his final season in Miami. Meaning Wade only had 7 meaningful NBA seasons. Compare that to a much maligned Tracy McGrady, who gets killed for a short prime, but he played in 8 meaningful seasons, 1 in Toronto, 4 in Orlando, and 3 with Houston. And I don't want this to turn into a T-Mac versus Wade conversation, but if we're comparing peaks, 2003 T-Mac is far superior to 2009 Wade. As a shooter, a playmaker, a scorer, and because he was 4 inches taller than Wade, I'll give T-Mac a slight edge on defense also. If T-Mac gets heat for his short prime, Wade deserves it also, maybe even more. We also need to talk about Wade's 4 seasons in Miami alongside LeBron, an era that's often romanticized but in reality was quietly underwhelming for Wade individually. Not only did injuries sideline him for significant stretches of the 4-year run, but his game was clearly in decline. There's a common narrative that Wade selflessly took a back seat after the 2011 finals to let LeBron take over, but I don't fully buy that. His body was already breaking down, and that so-called backseat felt more like a necessity than a choice. Wade was less a contributor to these finals runs and more of a lucky passenger just enjoying the ride. Game 6 of the 2013 finals is a perfect example. With Miami trailing by 10 to start the 4th and their season hanging in the balance, Spoelstra benched Wade and turned to Ray Allen, Shane Battier, and even a hobbled Mike Miller. The result? A furious comeback. Miami not only erased the deficit, but actually took a 3-point lead with 3:48 remaining in the game. How was Miami able to do this? Well, Wade at that point was becoming an offensive liability. He no longer had the explosiveness or athleticism to pose any real offensive threat, and since he wasn't ever a knockdown shooter, the Spurs defense was able to sag off him and clog driving lanes for LeBron. When Spoelstra replaced Wade with more shooting, things opened up for LeBron and the Miami offense. But instead of rolling with this newfound plan, Spoelstra made a questionable decision by reinserting Wade with 3:48 to go and up 3. It felt less like a tactical move and more like a gesture to protect Wade's pride, ensuring he wasn't just watching to come back from the bench. The Miami offense immediately stalled. San Antonio closed the gap, and if it weren't for Ray Allen's miraculous corner 3, that move might have gone down as a legacy-defining mistake for Spoelstra and a publicly humiliating reality check for Wade. In the end though, Wade won his 3rd championship, and people just choose to forget what kind of impact, or lack thereof, Wade truly had. Here's the thing also, I'm not even going to bring up the 2006 finals. People are always going to bring up the free throws. Wade attempted just as many free throws as the entire Dallas team in games 5 and 6, but watch the tape again. This is less so about the refs or about some sort of league conspiracy, and more so an indictment against a poor Dallas defense. No one on that roster could keep Wade in front of him. Remember, this is the same Dallas defense that Kobe outscored 62-61 in 3 quarters. Wade was one of, if not the fastest, strongest, and most athletic guards in the league with the basketball, and it was on full display against a poor Dallas team in 2006. All hail D. Wade in the 2006 finals. But come on, D. Wade as the 23rd best player ever like Bleacher Report claimed? Let's be real. Rank 23 has him over Giannis, Isaiah Thomas, Scottie Pippen, and Kawhi Leonard, just to name a few. I mean, I could go on. John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, James Harden. Here's a crazy one. Allen Iverson? One of the elements of Wade's game that is so often praised is his elite scoring at his position, but I certainly don't have him over AI or James Harden. These two are on a different stratosphere than Wade when it comes to 2-guard scoring. Wade is also often praised for his dominant playoff performances, especially the 2006 finals, but Kawhi's 2019 run was historic. Isaiah Thomas dominated not just 1 year but 2 in 89 and 90, and while Pippen was Jordan's number 2 in the 90s, I'd argue that he was a more effective number 2 to Jordan than Wade ever was to LeBron, and he did it 6 times versus Wade's mere 2. And when you're talking all-around basketball talent, Wade is praised as a unique two-way specimen, but he's not Kawhi as a two-way player. He's not John Stockton as a two-way player. He's not even CP3 as a two-way player. At best, Wade should be ranked in the high 30s, low 40s, but nowhere near 23. What do you guys think? You guys also think D Wade is overrated, or you think Wade is rated just fine as a top 25 player? Let me know what you think in the comments below.